Did you know you have the power to transform your health and your life? After years of suffering with undiagnosed autoimmune symptoms, I found myself on an endless loop of expensive supplements, broken promises, and drive-through meals. I was a busy working mom struggling with chronic pain. I could no longer keep up with life until I decided to take my health into my own hands. I discovered the healing power of whole foods and incorporated a healthy lifestyle that is simple, affordable, and maintainable even when life gets busy. With easy, whole food meal prep, meal planning, and wellness strategies, I healed my autoimmune symptoms, regained my energy, and lost 30 pounds along the way. I discovered I had the power to change my life, and I know you have that power too. Whether you're looking to reduce inflammation, lose weight, or optimize your health, this is it. Get ready to discover the vibrant life you deserve with the Prepared for Wellness podcast. I'm Ashley Cavolo, and I can't wait to join you on this journey. Hey you guys, welcome back. So today I am covering the topic of gluten. I've wanted to cover this for a while, so I'm going to do that today. Gluten is something that really had affected me when I was on my autoimmune discovery and finding out what was triggering for me, and this is a big one. So gluten has been a popular topic in recent years, normalizing a gluten-free lifestyle. So you might be surprised to know that gluten-free isn't really a new idea. Gluten-related illnesses have been recorded as far back as 250 AD, and in the late 1800s, diseases triggered by gluten were being recognized. During this time, improving upon one's diet to make symptoms better was a new idea that sparked interest. So the idea of a gluten-free lifestyle really didn't take off until the 40s, and this was due to famine and food shortages. Children who were sick with celiac disease saw improved symptoms during the famine and food shortages, so it was determined that the lack of wheat and flour in their diets were attributing to the improved symptoms. So in an effort to resolve the food shortages, the government created the Food Subsidization Program. This provided funding to farmers who grew corn, soy, and wheat, and the products were used to produce processed foods, and this was in an effort to provide consumers with inexpensive, shelf-stable food options. So, yes, this seemed like a great, easy solution. It led us to where we are today, with the food industry that is laden with processed, unhealthy foods. And it did, however, the plus side, it led us to discover that a gluten-free lifestyle can prevent and reduce disease-related symptoms. So what is gluten? Gluten is a protein that is wheat, barley, and rye, and it acts as a binder that holds the dough together. It also gives baked bread that unique soft texture. Gluten is in any product that incorporates wheat, barley, or rye. It's found in processed foods like crackers, cereals, pastas, breads, beer, malt, and soy sauce. And it can be hidden in unexpected places like processed meats, vegetarian meat substitutes, seasonings, salad dressings, makeup, cooking sprays, things like that. So further on, I will go through a list of sneaky food items that contain gluten, and I'll also have that posted on my blog so you can have access to that. So what does gluten do to us? There are many people who can digest gluten properly without any issues, and when gluten cannot be digested properly, this triggers an immune response in the body, increasing inflammation. So when your inflammation occurs in the body for an extended period of time, and I talked about this in my last two episodes, talking about sugar and processed grains, this can affect every major organ in your body. This increases the risk for developing diseases such as heart disease, cancers, IBS, dementia, autoimmune diseases. So this is why it is important for people with gluten-related diseases or intolerances to manage their diet and lifestyle to reduce the inflammatory response. There are also people who are completely unaware that they have a sensitivity to gluten, and in many cases, most people have some sort of sensitivity. They just don't know it. And this undetected inflammation is what really poses a major health risk. So when we have a serious disease such as celiac, gluten damages the small intestines. Symptoms can range from digestion issues to breathing trouble, and in serious cases, it can lead to death. For those people, they must eliminate gluten because their life depends on it. Gluten intolerance shares many of the other symptoms experienced by those with celiac, and those are joint pain and stiffness, muscle pain, skin rashes, blemishes, brain fog, vision problems, stomach pain, headache, bloating, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, mouth sores, gas, fatigue, anxiety, depression. There are so many more, and this already seems like a long list, so I'm going to end it there. But the good side to gluten is there are those who can digest it properly, and gluten-induced inflammation is not going to be a major concern for those people. So in those cases, foods that include gluten can help to reduce heart disease, diabetes, and cancer because it is not triggering inflammation. So gluten can also provide essential nutrients, protein, and fiber. So where do you go with all of this information? I will break this down for you into 3 categories. So listen and find the category that you fall under, and I'll give you some tips and suggestions. So the first category is gluten tolerant. So if you're under this category, you do not need to eliminate gluten. It doesn't give you symptoms. All you need to do is make healthy choices when choosing foods that contain gluten in an effort to support your health. Avoid processed foods, stick to whole grains, check labels for clean ingredients. If you don't recognize it, if you can't pronounce it, skip it and go to another option. Keep your portions in check. This will help avoid blood sugar spikes, which in my last 2 episodes I talked about. Blood sugar spikes are another trigger for inflammation, so you want to pay attention to that. The next category is suspect gluten sensitive. If you experience any of the symptoms I just mentioned, gluten may be the culprit. So consider an elimination diet. You'll want to discuss that with your doctor, but generally an elimination diet will require gluten to be completely removed from your diet, and you will do this for about 4 weeks. It can be longer. It just depends on what you decide to do and what works for you. And if symptoms improve during this time frame, this is a strong indicator that you do have an issue with gluten. If symptoms have not improved, you'll want to discuss that with your doctor and consider any other culprits in your diet, such as dairy. The next category is diagnosed gluten intolerant, or say you are diagnosed with celiac or some other disease. You'll want to avoid gluten as much as possible. Be aware of sneaky places where gluten can hide. Ensure you are consuming a healthy diet full of fiber-rich whole foods. Eliminate processed foods. Follow a lifestyle that supports your body with a focus on sleep, exercise, and stress reduction. These healthy habits support your mind and body for a stronger, healthier you. So, what to avoid? Here are some of the top foods: alcohol, barley, cheese, condiments, salad dressings, seasonings, soy sauce, processed foods, processed meats, rye, roux-based soups and sauces. And if you know what roux means in the cooking world, that is a base for creamy soups and sauces that's made of butter and flour, so you're going to want to keep an eye out for that. Sweets, vegetarian meat substitutes, vinegar, and wheat. And here is the bonus: sneaky places where gluten hides. these are places you may not suspect you would find gluten. Some of those are chocolate, cooking spray, hair products, makeup, and skin products. And I just wanted to mention there are amazing alternatives out there to some of these food items that I listed. So just look around in your grocery store, utilize websites. I love thrive.com. You can get some of those items on Amazon, in my local co-op. I can find a lot of really good alternatives that are gluten-free. So just, scour everywhere and keep your eye out for those items. So navigating a gluten-free lifestyle, this is a really difficult endeavor sometimes. I know when we're traveling, it's tough. We recently were on the road for a hockey tournament. We got back really late and we were tired. Everyone was hungry. It was bedtime. We had to go to work the next day. So we went to a local burger restaurant that cooks with peanut oil, and I discovered the peanut oil set off my inflammation for the next 3 days. So I now know peanut oil is something I cannot have. So really paying attention to your body, how it reacts to things. Going through an elimination diet really opened my eyes to certain things that I didn't realize were causing inflammation in my body. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. And when I have a flare-up, I have symptoms. I'll wake up the next day with joint pain, joint inflammation, stiffness, fatigue, brain fog, headache, rash, sometimes blemishes. And I describe this to people as that feeling when you wake up and you know you're getting sick. You almost feel like you've been hit by a truck. It's just that feeling. You just want to crawl back in bed, put your pajamas back on, and just not go anywhere for the day. But we can't do that. So it really makes a difference to just stick to my healthy lifestyle, and it really does help me to feel my best just about every day if I stick to that. So if you have any questions about any of this, I know this is kind of a deep subject. We could go on for days about the topic of gluten and inflammation. But as always, just send me an email or a DM if you have any questions. Thanks for listening, and I will talk with you next week.
Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope this episode helped you in your health journey, and just maybe you learned something new. If you loved this episode, please leave a review. When you do, you are helping this podcast reach others around the world. Visit my website, preparedforwellness.com, to view my coaching offers, free recipes, and so much more. Don't forget to grab your free gift while you're there. Follow me on Instagram at Prepared for Wellness and join my VIP Facebook group, Prepared for Wellness Community. Don't miss out on the fun and special announcements.